Wicked. Well, I'm with the guys from Zest. Calum, you're a friend of the show. You've already been on the pod. Adam, I'm sure we'll get you on one day. But I'm with them today, and I'm asking people, in 2026, how can people get 1% better in recruitment?
I'm going to go against what a lot of people are saying at the Rec Expo in regards to, I think, understand, so don't use AI. Not necessarily don't use AI at all, but I think everything, interestingly now, about recruitment, about tech within the industry is so focused on AI, is so focused on automation. Actually think, when everyone runs in one direction, think how you can run in the other, and think what controllables do you have that are purely human, and how can you double down on that and get not even 1% better, 10% better in that area? Like what skills do you have as a recruiter that are impossible for AI to replicate, and how can you as an individual kind of double down on that? I think is more important now than ever, I would say.
And to follow up with that, I would say focusing much more on being consultativeness. And I suppose meaning by that, we were just talking about, Calum was actually on an Expo a minute ago talking about, perception of recruitment, behaviours and so on. I think so much, someone was asked the question, 10 years ago, has the recruitment perception changed in the market? And I think it actually has, because of the word consultant more than recruiter. People used to say, I was a recruiter. Now people are saying more, I'm a recruitment consultant or I'm a consultant. So I think there's a lot of opportunity in business with these businesses you're already speaking with. People are so busy to look about new logo, new customers and so on. You often leave a lot of business in your current customer base or the people you know or your network. So the more you can network within that and be a true consultant, I would say that's how you'll be 1% better for the year.
Love it. Amazing. On what you said, Calum, it's interesting because Dougie, the CRO of Sourcewell, came on my podcast, and the whole topic of conversation for that was automation isn't enough. And he was talking about the AI landscape, what's changing, and obviously what Sourcewell have been doing with integrating AI into their platform. And it's quite interesting for a guy running an automation AI platform to say that it's not enough. And he was talking very much on what you were saying there, that it's the human stuff. And we spoke about this before we clicked record, about I had a guy on the podcast, had the AI-only recruitment agency.
Yeah.
And when I asked him the question, it was like, what about if I set up a recruitment business trying to compete with you? Like, surely I would win. He went, yeah, you would. You would, because there are businesses out there that want that human connection, want to have that consulting aspect. But there are going to be some businesses out there that don't want to speak to a human. There are people out there that don't. They don't go to the shop to go and have a chat with someone. They would rather do the self-checkout. So there is always going to be an element of that. So.
Yeah, no, I completely get that. And actually, I do very like Dougie, who's a good friend. Like, I think AI definitely should be implemented, and definitely AI could make you 1% better. But it's there to build on what you're already doing, and I think it's not a replacement, it's something that can make you better. I was discussing earlier, I think a lot of people are using ChatGPT, Claude, whatever their AI sort of model of choice, to do things they weren't doing already. So that it's kind of, it feels cool. So, Calum, look, I can take all these CVs, I can create this, I can do that. Great, but how is that actually, to your question, how is that making you 1% better? Are you billing more because of that? Are you feeling more productive? Is it having a positive impact? Or is it just something that is a cool bit of technology that feels really good? So to Dougie's point, the human element needs to be there, and if you're facing capacity issues or you just genuinely don't have time to do the back office stuff or whatever it is, AI tech might help. Outside of that, I don't think it does. And you mentioned that company, Pure AI Recruiter. I also think some of these businesses that are entering recruitment without the recruitment nous and experience and bringing a tech sort of lens to things, I think they're just a lot of the time falling flat on their face, because recruitment as a concept sounds really easy. You take a candidate, you make an intro, you make 20k.
It's the easiest, hardest job you'll ever do.
Well, it's bang on, but when you actually do it, and you do it for a long time like Adam and I have, you think, oh shit, this is actually really tough. And we're very lucky to have big networks and have a nice and positive reputation. So I think there's a naivety around how easy recruitment is. And because of that, there's a kind of over-exaggeration at how AI or tech can solve that. But I still think it comes down to the human.
100%. And then lastly, to Adam, when we talk about being more consultative, and I know that when I've worked with you in the past, you were very good with managing accounts and managing candidates through the process. I'm a real strong believer that recruiters should focus on the consultant part, right? Yes, you're a recruiter, but you're there to consult, you're there to add value. What about some people in the industry that are trying to be more consultative? Maybe they're going down the RPO route, retained route, etc. Have you got any advice, any tips on how someone can add to the human element and be a little bit more consultative?
And is that if they've already won, so they're in an RPO or they're on a retainer or so on?
They're looking to do that, but they don't have a lot of experience in that. They're very transactional, but they want to develop into someone that's more consultative and maybe do those higher end type things.
I think interesting. It actually talks a lot about what Calum just said. Like, if you're a contingent recruiter right now listening to this and you want to do more retained work or more RPOs, you've got to look at thinking, okay, right now I'm doing a race to place. I fill 20% of the jobs I fill. It's quick. It's just speed and always, and there isn't a lot of service to it. I think if you're looking at a retained model or an RPO model, really getting involved with these customers, knowing them more on a human level, forgetting the AI, knowing, Charles, I know, working with you for how long, I know you like kickboxing, I know you've got a young child, I know you've got a dog. Things like this sort of stuff is definitely going to help build that relationship, because at the end of the day, as Calum said, AI kind of complicates recruitment and complicates relationship management. At the end of the day, it's people and people. People buy from people, so make sure you're actually getting to know your customers and actually adding some value and service. And it's not going to be replaced by an AI tool and just selling RPOs and retainers. It's not going to work like that.
Love it. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Charles.
Nice one.